Hey, ESL 106, how are you? I hope you're doing well. We're sort of at the midterm here of our course, and I want to talk with you about a new article here in Unit 3. So we're looking at this article called Crowdfunding and Crowdsourcing. I guess it's called Crowdsourcing and Crowdfunding. It's in your book. It's on page 156. And hopefully you've had a chance to read it. I'd like to go over a few things with you and see if I can help you understand it better. And then I'll point you towards the assignment that you have in Module 7, the reading assignment that I want you to do for this article. Hopefully you're seeing that as you do this practice, it's helping you on the tests. I looked at test 2 and you guys have done well. By the way, if you have any questions about test 2, please email me or talk to me. I'm in my office hours available to talk with you about that test if you want some more feedback. So let's take a look together at this article called Crowdsourcing Crowdfunding. And I wonder if you have very much experience or if you know very much about crowdfunding. Let's start with that. Have you ever done that? Have you ever started a Gofundme account, for example? So 2 years ago, before the pandemic, my daughter, who is an athlete, she started a GoFundMe account. I'll just put myself over here. And she plays Frisbee. This is Ultimate Frisbee, and that's her, my daughter. She wanted to go to the World's Tournament in Germany, and she had to raise $3,000 in order to go to this tournament. So she started this GoFundMe account, and I'm sure you've seen this. Sometimes it's for families that are in difficult situations, or sometimes it's for really wonderful accomplishments like these athletes that get their friends and family and lots of people just to donate. You can see here a friend donated $20, and eventually she got up to her $3,000 with 64 donors. Well, your article that we're reading this week is talking more about this idea of crowdfunding and crowd sharing. So take a look. I'm here on page 156, and take a look at all of these words that have a lot of definitions, right? So in this article, I see crowdsourcing, crowdfunding. I also see these words, microtasking, freelance workers, and open source. And I'm wondering if you were able to find these words as you read the article and find the definitions. It's really important to sort of understand these terms that are business terms now and to find the definitions as you read. So I'll just show you that I found the definitions for these terms in these paragraphs. And if you take a look in these paragraphs, you're going to see that each of these terms has a good definition signal word, right? Talking about what is this? How is it defined? What is the meaning of each of these words? So these are the paragraphs where you're going to find the definitions and even a footnote. And that was on the first page. When you look down at the bottom of the page, there are more definitions, right? For freelance, for microfilm, for Procter & Gamble. So I want you to notice all of these definitions. It's really going to help you as you work your way through the article. So in addition, I wonder where you found the main ideas. As you're reading this article, you really had to find sentences that captured the main idea for you. I'm going to be asking you to write the main idea in your own words, but it's good to find sentences. I'm always asking you, where's the main idea in this article? In addition to that, we're thinking about inferences. Is the writer positive or is the writer negative about crowdsourcing? And where are your clues? What words helped you to see that when you were looking in this article? I hope you were looking for these things. So a few sentences that I highlighted as I was reading, I looked at this first paragraph and I highlighted in the first paragraph the last sentence that says, crowdsourcing efforts are complex and can be difficult to manage. However, at their best, they are an effective way of getting tasks completed quickly and inexpensively. So I kind of see both sides in that sentence of crowdsourcing, that it can be positive, it can be difficult. But I think that sentence, that first paragraph, really lands on the positive, right? It can be an effective way to get tasks completed. And then when I looked at the conclusion, it also helped me. And I saw in the last paragraph, paragraph 10, that again, they're talking about the risks in crowdsourcing, in crowdfunding, and they end it saying, if all parties understand their roles, crowdsourcing can be a positive experience for everyone. So hopefully you can see, at least by these sentences that I chose in the first paragraph and in the last paragraph, I see a lot of positive words. I mean, I think the writer is trying to show us both sides. There can be problems, but in general, I would say the writer emphasizes the positive, effectiveness, the quick, inexpensive, positive experience. So let's just look at a few more things, guys. As we look at this article, you are going to be looking at each section. Now that we've talked about sort of the main idea of the article, I want you to take each section and create this outline. I'm asking you to do this on Blackboard when you do the assignment. You're going to be writing just a few words for each paragraph. There are 10 paragraphs. And tell me, what are these 3 sections about? I see the subtitles, and that's helpful. But what is paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and paragraph 3 about? How are they each focusing? After that, I want you to take a look at this section, which is on page 161. And it's really giving us some more practice with making inferences. So on page 161, you see that there are 5 different sentences, and they ask you, how can you find this information in the article? In some of the paragraphs, it's stated directly, but in some of the paragraphs, it's stated indirectly. And you're supposed to figure out where is this information in the article. So let's take a look. I want to do this with you because I think this is your best practice with making inferences and understanding the article. And I want to bring those 2 things together for you as we look at this. Let's take a look at number 1. Number 1 says, using a large number of people for a project does not always have a positive result. And I would say, let's look back, let's look at paragraph 1, and where does it say that? Where can you find that information in paragraph 1 that there's not always a positive result? Which sentence gives you that information? I would say that you can find that information in this sentence. When you're looking at the sentence that starts with the main idea, as we read together, this last sentence of paragraph 1, crowdsourcing efforts are complex, can be difficult to manage, right? The way that sentence starts gives me this information that a project doesn't always have a positive result. Sometimes there's problems. So let's do another one. Let's look at number 2. And again, I'm going to ask you, where does it say this in the article, right? Number 2 says, crowdsourcing has benefited genealogists all around the world. And now we're going to look at paragraph 5. And again, I'll ask, where does it say this? Where does it say that crowdsourcing has helped genealogists? Do you know what genealogists are, by the way? You find out in paragraph 5, they give you lots of examples of people who are looking for their family history, right? Genealogists study their ancestors, and they create these family trees to see who each of their ancestors are, looking at family history. And where does it say here in paragraph 5 that crowdsourcing has benefited the genealogists? So I'm going to show you, I found it here in the sentence. It's in the middle of the paragraph. And it says, the result is that millions of records are now available to both amateur and professional genealogists worldwide. And that's the sentence that lets me infer, that lets me understand that crowdsourcing has really benefited people who are trying to do genealogy. Another one, look at number 3. Small businesses and entrepreneurs may acquire startup funds through crowdfunding. So I showed you crowdfunding for my daughter who wanted to go to a tournament, but this one says small businesses, entrepreneurs can acquire startup funds through crowdfunding. Where does it say that? We're going to look in paragraph 7. And really, as I look at paragraph 7, I'm just going to move this up, I can see that, it says that very directly. This is not an inference even, it's directly stated in paragraph 7. Crowdfunding can help small businesses or individuals procure funds for specific projects. So we could say, okay, this is giving the direct same information for number 3. They are asking you in this exercise, is this direct or indirect? And I think the most important thing is just to find it. Where does it say this in the article? Let's just do the last 2. We're running out of time. But here, number 4, people who use crowdfunding sites to raise money pay fees on the total amount received. Where does it say that? Look in paragraph 8 and see if you can find the sentence. So I found it here in this sentence that starts with most crowdfunding platforms. It's right in the middle of the paragraph, towards the end, really. Most platforms charge fees based on the amount they receive during the campaign. And that's pretty close. That's a pretty direct statement of what number 4 was asking for. The last one, number 5, projects like renovating a house or building may not be as successful with crowdfunding as producing a video game or a movie. Where does it say that? Take a look in paragraph 10. I underlined this sentence. It starts with entertainment-based projects like video games and movies have tended to prosper, while more practical projects have sometimes floundered. So guys, hopefully you can see here where some of the inferences come from in this article. Your next steps are to read the article, to do this assignment, assignment 7, and then to answer a few questions on discussion board. I want you to answer these questions. What are some other ways you've seen crowdfunding used? And has it been successful or unsuccessful?